The WeRPN Workplace Violence Prevention Toolkit, Module 7, Emotional Intelligence, developed by WeRPN with the support of the Government of Ontario. This module includes defining emotional intelligence and identifying key skills, developing your emotional intelligence in the workplace, and emotional intelligence for conflict management. Emotional intelligence is a group of competencies that influence our ability to respond to others and manage our feelings. It is the balance between rational and emotional reactions, but unlike IQ, emotional intelligence can be learned and transferred into professional behavior. Emotional intelligence is one of the most important attributes of leadership, and using emotional intelligence can help healthcare providers improve communication, manage conflict, and develop a healthy workplace culture that fosters collaboration. The first component of emotional intelligence is self awareness, which involves identifying, expressing, and managing your feelings. Self awareness is a vital part of self assessment, which leads to greater self confidence. The next component is self management, which means managing emotions and preventing yourself from acting without thinking. By controlling emotional impulses, we can communicate more effectively. Once you are self aware and can manage your emotions, you can then hone on your skill of motivating others. Motivation involves understanding how feelings influence actions and includes how you perceive and react to stress. Empathy is the next emotional intelligence skill that healthcare providers must practice to be able to address social and emotional cues in others that can trigger conflict. By using empathy, you can communicate more effectively and de escalate a conflict situation. Social skills involve understanding how emotions are contagious and leveraging the ripple effect of positive emotions. Let's look at each of these skills more closely. Self awareness consists of the ability to identify, express, and manage your feelings. Self awareness can improve decision making because you are in tune with how you are feeling and not allowing negative feelings to drive your decisions. Self awareness means listening to your inner voice and connecting with your heart to ensure you're pursuing the right course of action. Practicing self awareness can build your self esteem and help your self confidence, helping you to lead more assertively and effectively. The skill of self management consists of learning to manage your emotions and controlling impulsivity. When we encounter a difficult emotion, such as anger, it's easy to become overwhelmed and act without thinking. Anger interferes with our ability to concentrate and make good decisions. Managing emotions and controlling impulses may result in more emotional stability and better coping abilities. Motivation. Motivating others involves understanding how feelings and emotions can influence actions and behaviors. How to move someone to act. Optimism is one of the most important motivational abilities and is reflected in how we handle setback, obstacles, and stress in difficult situations. Motivation as an emotional intelligence skill involves our ability to handle rejection as well as perseverance. Self reflection is an important way to deal with rejection. If we reflect on the feedback we receive and focus on how to improve, it can motivate positive change for the future. Empathy is a skill that involves recognizing and understanding social and emotional cues in others. Most of the message we receive from another person comes not from the words that they say, but is expressed in their tone of voice and their body language, posture, gestures, facial expressions. If we're effective in using empathy, we begin to recognize and understand the person's intent. Awareness of the behavior being exhibited can help to prevent or de escalate conflict. Social skills related to emotional intelligence include how your emotions affect others and how you're affected by others' emotions. Realizing that emotions such as anger are contagious, social skills involves knowing how to leverage the ripple effect of positive emotions, as this can help to prevent the poison of negative emotions. Leveraging positive emotions can result in increased cooperation, decreased conflict, and a more productive work environment. Emotional intelligence can be learned through self reflection and purposeful changing of behaviors. It takes sustained effort to support and an understanding of how the emotional brain influences our thoughts and our behaviors. Developing your emotional intelligence begins with a desire for self improvement and a willingness to face our own personal shortcomings. Creating an environment that is safe and non judgmental while learning to develop emotional intelligence is fundamental. WeRPN has created resources for nurses to develop their self awareness. Developing an emotional intelligent plan begins with your relationship with yourself, your relationship with others, empathy, your relationship with others, including social skills. These resources can be found within the WeRPN Self Care Toolkit. Our emotions influence our behaviors and actions as well as contribute to the behaviors and actions of others. People carry emotions with them everywhere they go, and suppressing emotions can lead to social problems at work, such as isolation, anxiety, conflict, horizontal violence, and bullying and aggression. Emotions present a contributing factor in every situation. A healthcare provider's ability to use emotional intelligence to manage conflict effectively and to stop workplace violence is central for a healthy professional relationships and improved health outcomes for patients. Any healthcare role can be enhanced by the development of emotional intelligence skills. This means managing professional relationships with members of the interprofessional team while also managing therapeutic relationships with patients. Work environments are susceptible to disruptive behavior, including incivility and outright hostility. A lack of emotional intelligence can be costly for organizations, leading to increased staff turnover, as an example, and contributing to poor patient outcomes. Conflict management strategies using emotional intelligence. If someone is repeatedly overreacting or negatively affecting their work or the work of others, there are several strategies for managing conflict using emotional intelligence. First, address the problem with the person in private, ensuring that you can communicate clearly and thoughtfully. Using empathy and social skills, avoid putting the person on the defensive by speaking sensitively. Respectfully present convincing evidence of the problem with specific incidents, and the consequences which may follow include feedback from others. Make sure you provide the opportunity for the person to provide their perspective and listen carefully when they're speaking. You may not agree with their perspective, but you do need to sincerely listen if you want to understand their viewpoint. Paraphrase what the person has told you to ensure you've heard them correctly. Ask the person for ways they think the situation can improve. Compare your perspectives and remember that telling someone to change doesn't always work well if they're not part of the solution. Using an example of positive, hopeful scenarios can be helpful to support a solution and may help to engage a person's actions in change for the better. Lastly, the person should develop a plan with a specific goal. If you are the team leader, you can support your colleagues with coaching, clear expectation, and positive work assignments. As a healthcare leader, you can collaborate with patients and families on setting mutual goals that result in greater success. Strategies that facilitate the development of emotional intelligence can prove exceptionally helpful for healthcare providers to improve communication, manage conflict effectively, and to build healthy workplace cultures that foster collaboration. Through self awareness, self management, motivation, empathy, and social skills, healthcare providers can effectively manage conflict and strengthen relationships in their personal and professional lives, as well as those of their patients. Having self awareness, self control, and the ability to respond in an appropriate way to someone's emotions gives you the insight. Knowing when to provide space or offer support and using emotional intelligence to moderate emotions can result in more successful management of highly charged situations.